one, I gotta ask you, how was you talking into being like, okay, yeah, I know you asked for 16, but I got 57. How was you doing that?
I think a lot of that too, like I want to send a shout out to Redman, Beast from the East.
Right.
Redman was the one that Cheeks, shout out to Cheeks Lost Boys.
Yeah.
The record happened because of them.
Right.
Charles Suit, you know, Tim Dog, Love, Peace and Happiness, Uptown Records, all that, right? Universal. Right. But outside of Cheeks saying, all right, cool, and LB, you know, Spig, Louis Vuitton saying, all right, go ahead, get to it, bitch. Because remember, I was co-managing them. I was general manager of Group Home Entertainment, so I was booking shows for them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 6 bands a night, 24 bands a week, 96 bands a month. I was doing that. And at the same time, I always wanted to rhyme. I always wanted to be on the records. I was around when Legal Drug Money was released on Uptown Records.
Right.
Super Mario, God bless him, was, you know what I'm saying, like they call him Super Mario. You know why they call him Super Mario? No. Because he could jump so high and put the posters outside.
Wow. That's street team.
Shout out to Super Mario. He was the one that Puff had bailed out for 25 bands. Super Mario. So Beast from the East happened because Redman didn't mind me doing the 50 bars. I know he probably ran through his mind, why is he doing this? But he let it happen. So that was the kind of energy that Tony Tuss let me do them bars on there. You know, Clue let me go in there and get busy like that. Rakim let me put those bars on that. And no one ever, they let me get busy with that, right? Shout out to the whole Firm clique, you know what I'm saying? Steve Starr, everybody that helped that happen. And then Jamel, who took me up there, then 4321, it was Panama PI, Too Cold to Hold. It was a lot of records, but they were allowing me to do that. And so
why were they allowed?
I think because there was still a heart in hip hop in terms of, instead of shutting it down, they wanted to see how far I could go with the rhyme. They wanted to see me run with it.
They fed in. They fed into the mystique.
It's like watching you with Ill Will.
Right.
You wanted to see the pressure that was applied to you in order to see how you gonna get out of this pretzel. Right. And you did. Yeah. Right?
A wild thing.
These are the things.
Shout out to Ill Will.
Yeah, shout out.
Right.
But those are the things that, you know, people want to see it because it is something that's it's customized, man. How you get out of that pretzel.
Right. But when we talk about hip hop, it being so competitive and so ego driven, the fact that so many people were willing to turn down their egos to let you take off. Because me personally, I couldn't do it. Like, I mean, yeah, I'll let you rock, but I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna get you back. The next time you got a joint, I'm going 100 on your shit. You know what I mean?
So watch this.
You know what I'm saying?
I know
nobody wasn't getting the back. Nobody wasn't getting the back.
I know you're cut from that cloth.
Right.
And I'm not like that anymore. I can't do that anymore. I can still go ahead and go for mine and make a record sound good when it's all said and done and it's gonna be hip hop.
Right.
But at that time, when you wanted to come down to hardcore, I had 4 hours of rhymes in my head. It wasn't 30 pages of rhymes in this bitch, in this motherfucker. It wasn't that. It was really 4 hours. I just talked to Smooth the Hustler the other night, and he already knows this, but Broken Language, the beat, I had it recorded on a 90-minute tape, back to back, where you put it in the Sony or the Denon, and it goes all the way, and then it flips over by itself, and then goes all the way back as you can select. You know them, Jones. Yeah. That was my workout tape. So I just sit there and rhyme for it till the 4 hours, and I could skip to any rhyme at any point. So you wouldn't even know that it wasn't off the head or what have you. And it was really like that. Yeah. I was really doing, or he was doing that back then. Right. I got to speak about it in the third person because it was true. Right. Can I do that now? No. Do I know how I was doing it then? No. Maybe
it was the focus, the repetition.
And youth, you know, just having the memory, being able to keep all that in your head.
You can take Genko, that should have come right.
Genko? I mean, some of that gold stuff you talking about.
I got you. Listen, man, look, there's a battle rap regiment diet of things that you eat to treat your memory.
I'm learning, man.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
was, look, when I genuinely wanted to give back to it as much as I could, I wanted to put into that genre of the culture. It seemed like I almost, you know, jumped out the window for battle rap or for that style of rapping on every record that I could get my hands on or a chance to do.
But the reason why that scene wanted to see you on the scene is because of the content, the lyrical content that you was delivering.
I got on the track with MR.MECC and I was screaming on the mic. I got opportunity to rock with MR.MECC. I wasn't even thinking.
But it was like,
like we want to talk about that in the pussy. You know what I'm saying? It don't make no sense. I was upset. I was just like y'all are now. But I was doing it as extreme as I could then. And I remember the A&Rs used to look at me. Shout out to Dino DeValier. He'd look at me and he'd say, Canibus, why don't you just put a hook in here, man? Like, you know, bars. And I'd be like, yo, all right. He'd leave the studio, I'd leave it just the way, maybe add bars to it.
Yeah.
Now, if I had to get on stage and do 100 bars, I'm saying I should have listened to that motherfucker. No, 100 bars on stage now.
I don't agree. I don't agree. And I'm gonna tell you why. A milli. Yo, bro, so many records. Cameron, 357?
Yeah,
357.
Jump off the high, make your sky dive.
6 foot,
Brother,
7
it was
foot.
a single.
Yeah.
It was a
The
single.
Magnum P.I. joint.
You know what I'm saying?
6 foot,
Yeah.
7 foot.
But I feel like the structure that they was trying to put on you wasn't your structure. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you'd have did one of those, and that was the single, imagine that.
I don't know if you want to push a whole album of that. I think that's where the A&Rs was coming from.
Bro, this is, I don't think you niggas understand. Every time you heard this nigga, he was spitting like 50 bars on a rapper that we love's track.
It's the difference between having a dude who puts numbers on the board and one, and then putting them in the NBA. The rules are different. It doesn't take away from the skill factor. It doesn't mean what he's doing out there makes him any less. But there's rules. They got rules in here that you need to format it like this in order for us to be successful.
Fuck the rules.
Well,
And you're a pro now. You're a pro. You understand now how it gets to when you start getting to the budgets. You know, that's why you wore one jacket in here instead. Everybody got jackets. I want one of those. But there's no budget.
Champ, see, now you got me looking crazy.
There's a budget.
Champ was supposed to wear his shit.
Everybody supposed to have a jacket.
Champ didn't wear his shit.
Budgets. When it's budgets and we rapping like how we was rapping, it's always one A&R in the group that's like, I mean, where's the hook at? Like, how am I going to do some radio? You know, I just, complaining. It was always one A&R.
But that's my issue with the industry. When you sign this guy, you know who the fuck he was.
They wanted me to change my name, Hoff. They say, yo, change Canibus, you can't have that name. You know how scared I was?
It's a
You know how nervous I
marijuana.
was?
Marijuana.
Huh?
It's marijuana.
Yeah. But now look at it, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
That's the whole, I'm Jamaican, right? But the whole thing, and I spelt it different.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, those kinds of things is going on. We were now, you know what I'm saying? Thanks to you and so many others, right? The Dynamics Joint, like so many others.
Right.
Battle rap now it's what, it would have been like a Disney World to me.
Right.
If it had happened
Back
then.
Yeah.
Right, even just to participate, not to dominate, but just to participate. So that's what it was. Back then, the A&Rs didn't want to hear that, man.
They didn't.
They didn't want to have nothing to do with it.
They put a
man.
cap on your creativity.
Listen,
But
man.
this is why. But then
And we still moved numbers too. The record still moved. But like I said, you know, screaming on the mic with MR.MECC is just not the way to go.
It's hot for trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rappers. Got bars I can hang with the backpackers. Trap star, I don't hang with the backpackers. I'm in the hood with the work you heard. Making fiends leave earth you heard. Got your baby mama thirst you heard. Feel the flow, nigga, throw it in reverse. This the wave you need to surf you heard.